Hey everybody, this is Jeff, Swing Trade Warrior with WarriorTrading.com. I'm going to go over my watch list for tomorrow. It's been a few weeks, a couple weeks since I've been on here. Happy to be back. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and enter them into the box there, the chat box, and I'll get to them as they come up. Definitely looking for a continuation in the market through the end of this week here. You can see my market lines here. These are the same lines I've kept drawn on this chart for a few weeks, months now, going back for quite a while. You can see that after the market tested this 211 area, we pulled back all the way down to the 205 area. We chopped around for a while. The 20 moving average broke, the 50 moving average broke, and finally it was the 200 that held things up. Curled off of that, moved back up here, blasted through these resistance areas, and now we're back to the 209 area today, looking to test this 211 area again. Okay, if we break through 211, next stop is going to be the 213-ish area for the highs on the S&P. I think we do continue higher from here. There's no reason not to. Numbers have come out for economic data. Oil, as you can see, has put in a nice recovery as well. You can see that the overall market tends to be trending higher in the short term at least, and there are no macroeconomic sentiments that seem to be having any significant effect on the broader indexes or weighing things to the downside. So looking ahead, we definitely have a few names that popped up on the scanner tonight to look forward to. First one I want to talk about is TGI. Okay, this is a Triumph Group here, industrial sector. The stock popped up. Here to this, the 38 area, which is a major area of resistance. 38 acted as a, if we go back to, what is this date? November 13th of 2015. You can see 38 acted as a pivot area. The stock price came down, tapped that 38 area, and it traded above it for a while before finally breaking below in December, only to test this 38 area for a couple days in a row, only to break down. Popped up over it for a while, but eventually sold off. Hasn't tested this 38 area again since, let's see, all the way till April 2016. We tapped it a couple times, pierced it, never broke above it, tapped it a few more times, and now we're testing it again. So you can see very clearly that we've crossed above the 20 and the 50 moving averages. We've started testing this 38 area, and as such, we're looking to move over the top of that, breaking through the 200 moving average, which is right here at the 39.30 area. So what we're looking for is a long entry over 38. Possible add spot will be over the high of this entire range, right around 38.75, and that should get us to 39 bucks. We'll eventually look to peter out here around the $40 area. You can see that it acts as a support area here, a nice little double bottom put in just over $40 here, and it's also a major area of resistance from back in January and also November to December. So $40.80 here will be the ultimate target, but ultimately we want a long over the 38 area. Another name that popped up on the scanner today was TOO, TK Offshore Partners. Now I've traded TK Tankers. TK has several different spin-offs. It's a shipping company. A lot of the stock price or price action in TK has to do with oil. And today what we have here is this little doji candle where we came up and tapped the 650 area, 645 area, and sold off back down to 626. This is not the best setup ever, but what I do like about it is that it is a relatively bullish setup. This thing is capable of big moves. It's a relatively light volume stock, so it's capable of big moves here when we do get big volume increases. And so what we see is this doji over the moving averages in through here. What I want to see on this is a move over 650. 650, obviously a pivot area here for quite a while. We'll look for a move back to the 726 area or so, 726 being a high after this thing had gapped down back in December of 2015. If we can get through 726, we'll see a move back towards the mouth of the gap here at 7, what is this? I don't know, about 765 or so. So this is a long over 650 for a move back towards 730 and then 765 overall. This one will require some cooperation from oil. I think we'll get it. So it's going to be something we need to see in order to get continuation out of this name. Another name I'm watching for tomorrow popped off on the scanner here is FCEL, FCEL. Fuel Cell Energy Incorporated it. It's been on the scanner a few times in the past. Excuse me. You can see that it is moving up a little bit higher here off of this recent pullback, putting on this nice wedge pattern just around the moving averages. You have the yellow, the purple 20 EMA, the white 50 EMA, and you have this nice resistance spot here right around the 650 mark. These half dollars and whole dollar areas on these under $10 stocks tend to act as major support and resistance areas. Why do the half dollars and whole dollars matter more on cheap stocks than they do on large price stocks? Well, because on cheap stocks you're going to find more retail traders, right? There's not a lot of institutional guys that are messing around with the $4, $5, $6 stuff. When they're trading $50, $100, $200 million accounts, they're not looking to buy 50,000 shares of a $6 stock. No, they're looking to buy shares of Apple or Netflix. For the most part, things like that. Retail traders are the ones who are going to be around for the under $10 stocks. And by retail traders, I mean the unintelligent traders, the guys who are weekend warriors. They have a 401k with TD Ameritrade, and they think they know what they're doing, and so they put their stops at half dollars and whole dollars. Market makers know that, big money knows that, and any good professional trader knows that, and so we can expect those half dollars and whole dollar areas to hold a lot of stop loss orders and a lot of buy stop orders, and so that's what we'll use here as our pivot. We'll look for 650 to be an entry area. It's acted as a period of support for a while, and then we'll look for a move here if we can get to it. Back up and over $7 to the 710 area. Why 710? Well, you can see pretty clearly the 710 was a resistance area here back in January, back in March, and then a few times here through the end of March and then April. So based on this ascending wedge here, we can expect a pop over 650 and move to 710, and if we're lucky, maybe a move back to 750 or so. Not sure it goes much higher than that, but we'll already be within our profit taking area, and hopefully we'll be out of this trade in a short time. Excuse me, I think I'm getting sick. I'm losing my voice. Just bear with me. See if you guys have any questions here. None yet. Okay, no problem. All right, so another trade we're looking at tomorrow. Now, I always tell people, even though I think that the SPY is in a bullish pattern right now, we've had this big move up from February all the way through the end of April here. The S&P put in a 16-17% move. We had a nice little pullback, period of consolidation to the moving averages, and a move back up higher. I think we test this 211 area and keep going. Whether we do or not doesn't really matter, because I always tell our students, if we are prepared for whatever the market gives us, and we'll have trade opportunities either direction. Now, the market tends to have a long bias in the short term, so I like to have more long-term setups. As you just saw, we went through those. However, we don't know what the market is ultimately going to give us, and as such, we have to be prepared for any potential news to come out of China, potential bearish day in Europe, anything that might influence our own markets and cause a move to the downside. If we're only preparing ourselves for moves to the upside or for long bias, we're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table. You guys can Google opportunity cost and find out what that is. But for me personally, as a trader, as a trading mentor, I like to give people opportunity to find setups, not only to the long side, but the short side as well. And then that way we're ready to go either direction, depending on what the market gives us. Doesn't really matter. We're prepared either way. So tomorrow we have a name, Adobe. I like this one. It popped up on my, short scanner for tomorrow here. This thing is tapping off of a major resistance area right around $100. Naturally, it tapped 99.99 was the high of day, and it put in this big old hammer here. Not sure it can get through this $100 area. If it does, then good for the stock. But if it doesn't, then I think we have potential to pull back here to 96 bucks. So looking for an opportunity to get short on this. Definitely looking for an entry under the low of today, right around 98.84. So we're going to let this come down about 80 cents or so before we get in, and we'll use the close price as our stop loss point if we do end up getting short on the stock under 98.84. Once again, we're looking for a move. Initially, it'll be to $97, but ultimately down to around the $96 area. And that's where we'll look to exit the trade. Not a huge trade potential here, but a very liquid stock with a very clean chart. I've traded Adobe before, and it's pretty easy to trade stock. Not a lot of fake outs. I have a question here. Do you or have you traded FCX much? Let's pull up FCX. FCX, I don't honestly recall trading this. I mean, I may have. I've been trading. Excuse me, hiccups. I've been trading for about 10 years now. There's a good possibility that I've traded this ticker over time. Not exactly familiar with it short term though. I do see an opportunity here over the 1175 area. Today's high was 1173, but you can see that it was a pivot from back in October and August of 2015. Definitely, if it can get any higher than that, you may have a pretty short move or pretty quick move back to $14. It's a good looking setup here. You're holding the moving averages here, so you have this nice consolidation between the 20, the 200, and the 50. Everything's kind of pinching together. This is a decent looking setup for a move back to 14. But to answer your question, no, I don't have much experience with this particular name. Oh, also I should say we're in a few well, let's see here. Costco, we're in an iron condor for right now, looking to capitalize on the earnings here. This is looking good tomorrow for a nice win. Also, tomorrow we are going to look to enter some iron condors on earnings names for GME, SPLK, I believe, ULTA also has earnings tomorrow. I'm not as fond of ULTA as I am the other names, mostly because it does not trade monthly options, weekly options. I prefer, when doing iron condors during earnings season, to limit my setups to those with weekly options, because you're going to find that the volatility crush will occur the fastest in the weekly options as opposed to the monthly options. You're going to run into issues with theta and everything else kind of holding up the profitability on your trade. So that's a double-edged sword there, but I do prefer weekly options, and GME, SPLK, and ULTA, which does not have weekly options, will all be on watch tomorrow for earnings names. We've so far in the last week, I think we're 100% on earnings trades, looking at about 50 to 60% ROI on each of those names. So looking to extend that tomorrow with Costco. We'll see what ends up happening by the open. But overall, I think we have a really good chance there. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll give you a few seconds. If you can think of something else you want me to take a look at, enter it in the text box there, and I'll get to it. I gotta edit this page here. I'm gonna send out the watch list to our members now. Like I said, if you guys are watching this on a recording, feel free, if you have questions that I haven't answered, to email me, jeff@warriortrading.com. I'm always happy to answer questions you guys might have about trading. Alright guys, stay tuned for my alerts tomorrow. If you haven't already, follow me on Watchlist at Swing Warrior. You'll get some alerts out there, and also on Twitter at Swing Warrior. I put out my watch list names each night on Twitter and StockTwits, and I'll also send out alerts occasionally to non-members on those channels as well. So if you guys don't have any other questions, that wrapping it up here. Let me know if you need anything. Jeff at warriortrading.com. Beyond that, hope everybody has a good night and continues to trade green. Thanks.